Example number 3. If b of x equals cosine of 3x minus 5 divided by arctan of 3x, then b prime of x is equals to what? Now, by looking at the structure of b of x, we could tell that we're going to have to use the quotient rule here. Why? Because we have a function in the numerator and we have a function in the denominator. So whenever we deal with functions in fractions, then that means we will have to apply the quotient rule. Now, let's break this up. First, we'll start off by identifying which function is going to represent f of x and which function is going to represent g of x from b of x. So in this case, our f of x is going to equal to cosine of 3x minus 5, and our g of x is going to equal to arctan of 3x. Now, we need to differentiate. We need to get a derivative of f of x and the derivative of g of x. If we look at f of x looks like it's composed of two functions, one outer and one inner function. Our outer function becomes cosine and our inner function becomes 3x minus 5. So in order to differentiate this, we're going to have to use the chain rule. So we'll start off by letting our inner function equal to u. Then we're going to rewrite our f of x in terms of u. So we end up with f of u equals cosine of u. Now we differentiate f of u and we end up with f prime of u, and that's equal to negative sine of u. So we just differentiated our outer function. Now we're going to multiply the derivative of the outer function with the derivative of the inner function. And our inner function in this case is 3x minus 5. So we end up with f prime of u equals to negative sine of u multiplied by 3. So let's break it down. Negative sine of u is our outer function, and the 3 is going to be the derivative of our inner function. So now we rewrite f prime of u in terms of x, and we end up with f prime of x equals negative sine of 3x minus 5 multiplied by 3. Now that we're done differentiating f of x, we differentiate g of x the same way. And we end up with g prime of x equals to 1 over 1 plus 3x squared multiplied by 3. Now we go back to b of x. So far we got f of x, f prime of x, g of x, and g prime of x. So now all we have to do is go back to the quotient rule formula, input all the data that we have into the quotient rule formula. Once we do that, we end up with b prime of x, and that's equal to negative sine of 3x minus 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by arctan of 3x minus cosine of 3x minus 5 multiplied by 1 over 1 plus 3x squared multiplied by 3, all divided by arctan of 3x squared. And after simplifying, we end up with b prime of x equals 3 multiplied by arctan of 3x times sine of 3x minus 5 times 1 plus 9x squared minus 3 cosine of 3x minus 5, all divided by arctan of 3x squared multiplied by 1 plus 9x squared.